Hi everybody, Kari Jones here, and I am going to read chapters 3 and 4 of my book, Out of Season. So here we go. Chapter 3. I lie awake. Why did Dad tell me to stay away from the kayak? He's being such a jerk. It's not fair. He'd never say something like that to Saul. He taught me to kayak. He knows how much I love watching animals. With each thought, my breath grows sharper. I want to fling my pillow across the room. What will happen to the sea otters if no one watches out for them? Nothing. I won't let it. By morning, I'm worn out, but I've made a decision. I can't abandon the sea otters now that someone knows about them. I can't stop now, no matter what Dad says. Dad's wrong. That's all there is to it. I'm going to have to be more careful, that's all. I wait until Dad and Saul are gone and creep out of the house. My heart beats so fast I have to pull my hand over my chest just to still it. No lights turn on when I close the door. I take a deep breath and check my heart again. Without looking back, I sprint across the lawn. At the dock, I slip into my life jacket and slide the kayak into the water. It hardly makes a splash. I edge into the cockpit and push off. I'm going to paddle to the sea otters and make sure they're okay, and then kayak back. That's all I'm going to do. No one will miss me. I see the sea otters as soon as I round the headland into Riley Bay. Hey guys, I call. They smile and my shoulders relax until I look up. Someone is standing at the top of the hill. Again. My hands shake as I grasp the paddle harder and steer my kayak away from the kelp bed. Maybe if I paddle across the bay without stopping, the man on the hillside won't see the sea otters. Or maybe he already has. I have to find out. It's the only way to make sure the sea otters are safe. It only takes me a second to paddle to shore and pull my kayak onto the rocks. What am I doing? I must be crazy. I have no idea what this man is doing up there. I turn around, but then I think of the sea otters. What if he catches them, or worse, shoots them? It makes me sick to think about it. There's nothing else to do. I start up the hill before I can change my mind. The hill is steep, but there are lots of tree trunks to hold on to. As I climb, I think about what I will do when I reach the top. I'll just talk to the man and ask him what he's doing. We'll be two innocent people meeting on a hilltop. Right. If only I can convince my breathing of that. I'm about to rise over the crest of the hill when my foot slips and I step on a twig. It cracks. I jump. My head hits a branch. I stuff my hand into my mouth before I cry out. When my head stops hurting and my heart slows, I stand up and peer over the hilltop. The man is running along the crest of the hill. He turns into the woods. Without thinking, I scramble up the last steps to the top of the hill and follow him. There are huge footprints on the mud near the edge of the trees. I track them for 10 paces into the woods, then they disappear. I spin around. Where is he gone? He's vanished. The forest is dense. I can't see a path. I pace across the top of the hill. How could I let him get away? I want to shout in frustration, but there's no point. Whoever it was is gone. If I don't leave soon, I'll be late. That would not be good. I don't want to learn what consequences Dad has planned for me. I take one last look around, then head back down the hill. It's harder going down than it had been coming up. Each step is more like a slide. I have to grab tree trunks to stop myself from sliding down the hill and into the water. By the time I reach the bottom, my shoes are covered in dirt and my hands are sticky with tree sap. I rinse them in the ocean so Mum and Dad won't notice. I pull my kayak into the water and paddle around the rocks for a last look at the sea otters. Today they are ignoring me. They don't move when I paddle close. Hi guys, I say, I can't stay today, but I'll come back tomorrow, I promise. I'm going to find out what's going on. You be careful, okay? I count 1, 2, 3 sea otters before I leave. I race home, letting my anger guide my paddle. How, stroke, could, stroke, I, stroke, let, stroke, this, stroke, happen, stroke. Each stroke works away a bit of the frustration. By the time I turn into Oyster Bay, I'm short of breath and my arms ache. I slow down. I hope hope Mum isn't up yet, but in case she is, I hug the shoreline. The overhanging tree branches hide my kayak. When I'm almost home, Dad's boat roars into the bay. He shoots across the water onto our dock. He's driving too fast. When he throttles down, he shoots the spray behind him. He almost hits the dock. It's not like Dad to drive like that. What is going on? For a second, I think he knows I was out kayaking. A huge sob fills my mouth. What will he do? I bite back the sob. I stay under the branches while Dad and Saul get out of the boat. Neither of them speaks as they walk across the dock. They give me no clues. When Dad and Saul are in the house, I come out from behind the tree branches. I don't pull my kayak out onto the dock in case they notice it when they come back. Instead, I hide it behind the boat shed. I run around the house and to the porch. I smooth down my hair and straighten my clothes, then lower myself into Mum's chair and wait for someone to call me for breakfast. It feels rotten to be so sneaky. It doesn't take long before Mum's voice calls out, "Maya, breakfast!" I'm about to open the door when I remember my wet shoes. I take them off and throw them onto the mat, hoping no one will notice them until they've dried. I take a deep breath and head inside. Saul is in the hallway. "Stop," he says as I try to squeeze past. "What?" I ask. He looks at his feet and shrugs. "Mum's worried about you. You should stop." "Stop what?" I say, looking right at his face. "You know what?" "No, I don't. Tell me, what should I stop?" "You know, kayaking." How did he know? My clothing is dry. I took off my wet shoes. I smoothed down my hair. "What makes you think I've been kayaking?" he asked. He huffs. "Just stop it." "What I do is none of your business, Saul," I say, and I try to squeeze past again. He grabs my arm and pushes me against the wall. "Stop kayaking, Maya, or I'll tell Dad." I yank my arm away from him and shove past. "Mind your own business, Saul," I say. My voice sounds strong, but inside my whole body is shaking. The whole morning has been freaky. Who was the person on the hillside? Why did he run away? And most of all, why is Saul acting so strange? Chapter 4. I have to figure out what's going on. There are so many questions chasing each other in my mind that I can't concentrate at school. In science, I almost walk into the skeleton hanging by the window, and in socials, I drop a pile of books on my toes. In English, I can't remember what automatopoeia means. I'm too busy thinking about what to do about the sea otters. Usually, I would talk to Dad about this. Obviously, that's not going to work. I'm concerned about him too. At lunchtime, I spill apple juice all over myself. I give up trying to act normal and sit in a corner to make a plan. At dinner, I say, "Mum, I have some extra work to do at school tomorrow. I'm going in early, so don't expect me for breakfast." Everyone at the table stares at me. They're not convinced. I put on an extra innocent-looking face. Mum says, "Okay, honey, it's about time you started concentrating on school again." My face burns. I have to look at my plate so no one will notice. Saul kicks me under the table, but I move my leg and pretend I didn't notice. After dinner, I go to my bedroom to get ready. I throw binoculars and my cell phone into my backpack. Before I fall asleep, I set my alarm for 4:30 a.m. When the alarm rings, I almost turn it off and go back to sleep. Then I remember my plan. I lie still to make sure no one else in the house is moving. The house is silent. Without turning on the light, I dress and grab my backpack. I have to feel my way along the hall and down the stairs. At the door, I fumble for my shoes. I open the door an inch at a time. I don't want to make any noise. My kayak is still behind the shed. I pull it out to the water and slide it in. It makes a small splash when I let go of the stern. I freeze. Nothing moves. My hands shake as I climb into the kayak, but nothing is going to stop me now. In 10 strokes, I'm under the trees and on my way. Dawn is just breaking. There's barely enough light to distinguish sea from land. My heart thumps. I force my hands to keep calm on the paddle. The kayak glides through the water, slick as a seal. I'm quiet, but not fast. I glance behind me. In the dark, there's nothing to see. I lean forward and put on the speed. My stomach muscles tense as I breathe deeply to give myself more power. I have to get there before anyone else does. When I reach Riley Bay, I head straight for the kelp beds to check on the otters. Hi guys, I whisper, even though no one is around. I'm on a mission today, so I can't stop and play. I splash water in their directions. They ignore me and keep eating sea urchins. Silly, I say, but I'm glad they're okay. There's enough light now to see the shore. I climb out of the kayak and drag it past the rocks, then arrange branches over it. You'd have to look closely to see it was there. I brush my tracks in the mud with a pine branch to mask them. As fast as I can, I hike to the hilltop and hide behind a tree. Now that I'm still, I think about what might happen if Dad finds me out here. He'll be furious, that's for sure. It's tempting to head home and go back to bed and forget about all this. But then I remember the sea otters. They need me to keep them safe. Until I find out what the man on the hill is doing, I'm not going anywhere. I sit up straighter and wait. The sun is still hiding behind the hill when Dad's boat motors into the bay. What is he doing here? Does he know I'm here? Oh no, Dad stops the motor and Saul hops onto shore. Dad waves and takes the boat out onto the bay. I sink back into the tree trunk. Honestly, this is the last thing in the world I expected. What are they doing here? Are they spying on me? That's the end of chapter 4.